All right, everybody. In this video, I will be talking about Chelsea's January transfer window, which it was pretty eventful, especially towards the end. I think we as Chelsea fans have been so used to the transfer dopamine over these last few seasons under Clear Lake. I think this winter window was always going to be much more quieter than those previous windows. Now, we did see a lot of outgoings and a lot of not a lot of incomings, but some recalls from loan. But I feel like this January transfer window is more focused on the outgoings. For example, Axel Sassi loans, etc. And I'll touch more on those later. But first, I'd like to talk about the incomings that we had. Now, in the middle of January, we recalled Trevor Chalobah from Crystal Palace. Obviously, we've been seeing a lot of or more injuries at the center back position, so we've been very I don't want to say dull at that position, but I think the Chalobah recall was much needed. Um, Chalobah was performing very, very well for Crystal Palace. Obviously, this recall was seen with a lot of backlash from Chelsea fans because of the reports we saw in the summer window that Chalobah wasn't good enough for Chelsea, can't fit Maresca's play style, etc. Now, I don't know. I've always said that Trevor Chalobah is one of my favorite Chelsea players. I genuinely mean that. Can we do better? Yes. But you also can't do worse, in my opinion. This guy has no complaints about being a squad player, a really, really good leader, knows what it means. I mean, he dropped his ego. Obviously, you don't want to hear that from your boyhood club that you're not good enough for the football you want to play. But he drops the ego. The sporting directors of Chelsea dropped their ego, and we saw his unbelievable performance against Wolverhampton, literally hours after being recalled from Chelsea, not even back in Cobham for 2 days. Was our best player against Wolverhampton. We saw him against Manchester City. I touched on it in the post-analysis video. I didn't think he was amazing, but he also wasn't our worst performing player in that tough loss. I think it's pretty much a signing. Obviously, he was already our player, but we recall him, and he's been a huge help so far, and I hope he continues down this path because we're going to need the center back depth for this Champions League football push. Now, we've heard some rumors in the summer that we still plan on selling him. I'm not sure how true those are. I guess we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully, he continues to perform well, and he'll give the sporting directors no choice but to keep him. Now, next, I don't know. These ones are more so because of injury. Chelsea recalling Gabriel Slonina from Barnsley. He suffered a finger injury, which is really unfortunate because he started the season very, very well for Barnsley. And, being an American, this is a player that we in the States, we rate him very highly. I was very excited when Chelsea signed him. Obviously, these signings are always confusing because, signing a goalkeeper so young, you never know what's going to happen. I don't know if Gaga is the future Chelsea one, but I hope he's able to rehab at Cobham, and hopefully in the summer we can find him a loan, maybe a permanent deal, but hopefully a loan just so we can keep track of his progress and have control of his future. This guy is an unbelievable shot stopper. I don't want to say the game's leaning away of shot stoppers because obviously we want our goalkeepers to be better with the ball at their feet, but when it comes down to it, this is one of the best shot stoppers for his age group. I'm a very big fan of this guy. Very high character. I do think he has a bright future. Whether that's at Chelsea or not remains to be seen. David Datro Fofana recalled from his loan. Obviously, he had suffered an injury and had surgery, so he'll be out for who knows how long. This is one that hurts a lot because I love this player. We signed him. This guy is a very, very good talent. It's not. I'll never forget that performance against Southampton. He was one of our better performing players, and if I remember correctly, he was subbed off at halftime. And ever since that moment, was never really given a chance. Hasn't been given a chance at Chelsea since then. So it's moments like this where you can't argue against the Chelsea supporters that are against this ownership and this new way of recruitment and how they go about their business, because this is a perfect example of, I don't want to say ruining a career, but definitely has stalled a bit. I hope this injury, I don't want to say wakes up David because he can only do so much, but I hope Chelsea find him the right home, whether that's a loan or a permanent sale. Hopefully a permanent sale. But again, this is a player I rate very, very highly, has a ton of talent. Has the mentality as well. Look at his loan with Burnley last year in the Premier League. He was very, very good. Scored some very, very good goals. Unfortunately, couldn't keep them in the Premier League. But I thought, that's a Premier League level loan against Premier League level teams. You can't do much better than that. I thought he performed very, very well, which just gives you an insight on how bright his future is, in my opinion. And then obviously the one signing that we did make on the very last day of the transfer window, literally the last hours. Matisse Amogo from Saint Etienne, sorry, for £12.5 million. I honestly didn't know a whole lot about this player, and then we were linked a few weeks ago, in the middle of January, and I started to keep my tabs a little more, doing my research. Um, More so lately since we actually signed the player. This guy looks really, really, really good. I don't really know how to. I don't like comparing players at all. But I think if you're not familiar with him, he's very similar to Romeo Lavia and Caicedo. It's like the best of both worlds. Not entirely sure what. I mean, he looks like he could play anywhere in the midfield, 10, 6, or 8. Like, I genuinely think that. We've already heard that he will be finishing the season with Chelsea and then replacing Andre Santos in the summer at RC Strasbourg. Obviously, Andre Santos will be coming to Chelsea, which is very exciting. I think this would be good for Matisse to get or become familiar with Enzo Maresca's football. Not even just that, just Cobham in general, Chelsea, what it means to be here, his teammates. And this is the club he'll want to play for, so this will give him motivation to perform well for Strasbourg and continue his development. And in hopes of playing for Chelsea for long-term future. I think this signing, I don't know, we have seen reports that he will not be seeing a lot of minutes this season. I don't believe that. Obviously, I could be wrong. I think we'll have no choice but to play him, considering our lack of midfield depth at the moment. Caicedo and Fernandez can only do so much. Romeo Lavia, unfortunately, can't stay fit at the moment. But I think Matisse will prove to help us a lot in our Champions League run. Even if he doesn't set foot in the Premier League, this could just be an FA Cup run, UEFA Conference League run. I'm very excited to see how this works out. It's a player I rate very highly. Ball retention, his pausa, his composure. That's the first thing I noticed was his composure. 19 years of age, ability on the ball. He just never seems to be flustered, which is very important in my opinion at a young age. You can see his confidence, which is another trait that I look in at very, very, like, that's the trait I want in my footballers. If they're not confident, they're not going to perform well. And unfortunately, we're seeing that with Nicholas Jackson right now. That's a perfect example. But yeah, just one real signing, £12.5 million from Saint Etienne. I think he has a bright future. Whether that's at Chelsea or not remains to be seen. I hope he has your full backing. I do think this could be a very, very good signing for the future. I say this about these signings. Even if he doesn't make it at Chelsea, he'll be sold for a massive profit, which in turn will have us or help us sign another big talent. Now, so looking over here, I took some notes. That is all for the incomings, just 4 of them. Only 1 signing, 3 recalls from loan. And now we're going to move on to the outgoings. First and foremost, Axel Sassi, dry loan to Aston Villa. This one also happened in the dying hours of the window. This player is not very highly rated amongst the Chelsea fan base. I do think Chelsea could do much better. I don't think he's Chelsea level. However, he is one of my favorite players in terms of his character, his leadership. Those are 2 attributes that are going to be missed a lot in this young locker room. However, I cannot blame Axel Sassi for winning this loan. Obviously, Villa being in the Champions League, moving on to the knockout stages. There's a lot of momentum around this club right now. What a window they had. Marcus Rashford, Malen, Marcus Asensio, and Axel Sassi. That's a very, very good loan. That's a team that they want to seize their opportunity in pushing for a Champions League trophy, which what a run that would be. But again, a dry loan. I hope Sassi performs well. I think this could be a very, very good move for him. It's a player. I like this player. I'm not saying I rate him entirely as a footballer, but he's a lot better than I think a lot of people make him out to be, and his leadership is a trait we'll miss a lot. There's a reason he was captaining sides in the Conference League. You don't just get the young man for no reason, especially when you play for Chelsea. But again, I hope he performs well. Him performing well will only help Chelsea long term. If you want to, recoup the money, as much money as possible for his future sale, we'll see what happens. The next loan, we've learned recently that this player requested for a new opportunity because he wanted to see more, or he wanted to see regular minutes. João Felix, another player that is very, very controversial amongst the fan base. He's a player I like. I understand the concerns around him. He's a pure footballer. He's just really fun to watch. Always seems to make things happen. He's an artist. That's plain and simple. He's an artist of the game. 6-month loan to AC Milan, dry loan, I believe. He's made his debut for AC Milan yesterday and scored a goal. That was always going to happen. It's just what happens with Chelsea players. And AC Milan, they're like Chelsea FC. I mean, seriously, the deals we've done with them these last few windows, have been crazy. They have a lot of Chelsea players in that team. Again, this is a player I rate highly. I don't want to say we necessarily needed him here at Chelsea because Christopher Nkunku and Cole Palmer. However, I do think with the lack of attacking depth right now, I don't want to say depth, but we're just having a hard time creating chances. I thought it was pretty surprising to see João Felix let go. I said that on my X account. I don't. Maybe it's not one that Chelsea will regret, but I do think this is a player that is going to make AC Milan better. Will make Chelsea better. He literally just needs to run in the team. I hope he can find a home because it's not normal for a player of his caliber and his age to bounce around clubs like this. I do hope he can find a home just for his family and his career. His career needs it. He needs a home to just show the world what he can do, remind the world what he can do. And I seriously wish him nothing but the best. I'm interested to see what happens to him in the summer. Next will be Renato Vega, which again, another player who we weren't none of us were expecting us to see him leave on loan this summer or this window. Especially with, we don't have any left back depth. It's just literally Marc Cucurella right now, and he's a Swiss Army knife. We saw that term used a lot in the beginning of the season with Maresca. He's a player. This is a player I rate very highly. I hope he is 6 month loan at Juventus. It's a dry loan. He's playing center back. We seen him in his debut, played the full 90 minutes, performed very well. So, if we're going to see these type of performances, not even these type of performances, but if we're going to see him get consistent 90-minute matches, I can't complain at all, especially they're covering the majority of his wages. Playing at this, he's 21 years old. At this point in his development, these minutes are vital, like absolutely vital. There's only so much you can do in training. Obviously, you can develop there and improve there, but you just have to play in live matches. And I think this Juventus loan was very surprising. I think it could hurt Chelsea in terms of depth and giving other players rest, like Cucurella. Vega can step into midfield, can step in at center back, but overall this will help him in terms of his development. And at first he wanted to leave Chelsea. Now we're saying that he wants to stay at Chelsea. So this is another loan that I'm very interested to see what happens in the summer. I wish him nothing but the best. It's a player I really, really like. I can understand the frustration with Chelsea fans in terms of he wanted the move, but he wants to play regular football. Cannot blame him at all. Same with Disasi, same with João Felix. I cannot blame these guys for wanting. This is the sport they love. This is their life. I cannot blame them for wanting to play more. Now, there is an argument to be made, well, why don't they push for their spot in the Chelsea team? That's an argument I also like, and I will listen to because it's true. You want players with elite mentalities at a club like Chelsea, but, time will tell. Moving on, we have Cesare Casadei being sold to Torino for £12.5 million. This was inevitable. This is a player I rate very highly, and something I want to touch on is I don't want people to think that Chelsea lost. Right now, no profit has been made, £12.5 million. However, you have to take into account the massive sell-on clause that we have for a future sale, which I believe is between 20 and 25%. So, and this sale will happen. I think Casadei will play for a big club at a high level. This is a very, very good player, a very good profile. Really unfortunate that it couldn't work here at Chelsea. It just really didn't get an opportunity. This happens when you talent hoard. It's hard to give everybody minutes, especially under Enzo Maresca. New manager wants to implement his playing style right away, play the top guys so we can win as much as possible right away. I don't want to say I don't want to say this is a sale that we didn't expect, but we did see reports recently. I think just as recently as yesterday that Maresca wanted to keep Casadei. But obviously he said he wants regular football, wants to find a home, wants to play. Can't blame him at all. He's at that age now where he has to play minutes as well for his development. Just absolutely vital. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he has a bright, bright future. I think Chelsea will eventually make a profit. Just not enough space, unfortunately. We have young midfielders like Romeo Lavia, Andre Santos coming in, Martins Amago now being signed, Leslie Ukachekwu. Just only so many of these guys that you can have, and I think the sale was the right move for both parties, and I hope it works out. I hope it works out for everybody involved. Carney Chukwuemeka, it hurts. This is one of my favorite young footballers in the world. Like, genuinely, I watched his debut for Villa. What was like the youngest player ever to play in the Premier League, or for Villa at least, and ever since then, watched highlights, kept tabs. This guy is unreal. Watched full 90s. This is a very, very good footballer. I will never forget when Villa and Chelsea just randomly announced this signing, or this transfer, sorry. 6-month loan to Borussia Dortmund. There is a release clause in his contract. We've known that for a while now. I'm not sure why Chelsea fans were upset when they thought it was a buy clause. There's been a release clause in his contract ever since he signed for Chelsea, £40 million. No matter how well he performs, I don't think this is a price that Dortmund meets just because they don't spend money like this. That honestly might be their record buy. I could be wrong there. Bundesliga, one of my favorite leagues in the world, is weaker. I think Chukwuemeka will see a lot of the ball. He'll have a lot of time and space. I think he will light the world on fire. I hope he does. He needs to remind these people about his talent. This is one of the best English talents we have. I genuinely mean that. As of right now, he's still a Chelsea player on paper. We'll see what happens. I wish him nothing but the best with Dortmund. It hurts me. As I said, it hurts me. He never really got a chance with under Maresca. I don't know if it's club politics. I don't know if it's the manager not seeing enough in training. We have no way of knowing. Absolutely no way of knowing. I see a lot of people complaining about club politics, etc. But like seriously, how are we supposed to know? We don't see what goes on behind the scenes. I wish him nothing but the best. Next, we have Ben Chilwell being loaned to Crystal Palace. Say what you want about the player. This is one of the best left wing backs in the world during our Champions League run. One of my favorite personalities. Just a great leader. I mean, heck, how long has it been since he's played a match for Chelsea? Consistently, zero complaints. Obviously, you can question mentality there, but he didn't want to stir up any nonsense with the club for his young team. I hope he does well at Crystal Palace. I honestly think he'll do well at Crystal Palace. I'm not sure how much he'll play in terms. I mean, this guy just hasn't played football. How did he get back up to fitness? New manager, new system. I think it's playing left wing back. That's where he's at his best. Maybe get a run in Thomas Tuchel's English side. You know, Thomas Tuchel, that's the best manager he played under, or he played best under Thomas Tuchel. Apologies. Controversial player. He's time. Look at the trophies he won at Chelsea. Look at how he played when he was fit and healthy. That ACL injury did him in, unfortunately, which that injury still pains me to this day. I wish him nothing but the best. Just to check these notes, I believe that's it. It is it. This transfer window, I don't know. I think we're going to have a very, very busy summer. We've already got incoming not signings, but incoming players in Kendry Paez, Estavio Walian, Mike Penders, Andre Santos. These are guys, maybe they won't help us out right away, but these are talents for the future, which I cannot wait to watch how they perform. Actually, Aaron Anselmino. I don't know how I forgot about him. Recalled from Boca Juniors. Wow, what a talent. I don't know how much we'll see him this season. Maresca pretty much said he wants him to start. It's a young kid. Has never really stepped out of Argentina. New home, new life, new people, new language, new everything at such a young age. I don't know if we'll see him this season. I hope we do, but Maresca, this is very, very positive signs for me from a manager, giving his player time and space to settle in before he throws him into the, I don't want to say fire because it's not like Chelsea are fire right now, but really, really good talent. I like everything about this player. We could have left him at Boca Juniors because he consistent playing time there, but we needed the center back depth. I think it's the right decision in terms of getting him settled in, because if we wait to the summer, then that's another 6 months that he needs to settle in. But now he can find a home. His family can become comfortable. He can become comfortable, learn more of the language. I think this guy does have a future at Chelsea. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. Yeah, I believe that's all. My longest video by far. Sorry if I stuttered a bit. It happens. I stutter sometimes. But seriously, if you made it this far, I thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Please leave any feedback below. Future videos, a big match against Brighton. We need this. We need this badly. I'd like to see us make a run in the FA Cup. Obviously, I would also hope to see us build momentum. But that'll be my next video, post-match analysis for Brighton. Hopefully positive signs. We'll see. Again, I hope you are doing well and staying safe. Thank you.